Hey, welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. Good news, I found a throttle cable. Bad news is, it's on Wyatt's parts truck. More bad news, it's cold and rainy, so we're just going to make Wyatt pull that off for us and bring it in the shop. Alright, let's get back to figuring out the rest of this stuff. So I found my O2 sensor wire. I don't know what the other one is with it. We did determine that my book was right though, so maybe I can go back to the book. We'll go back to the book and figure out what runs with it. That might be a ground wire. Green is ground the world around. Maybe. Maybe not. These things are super easy to read. Nope, not even a little bit. So what I did was I found, and you're probably not going to be able to see this, but you can kind of see the line. So this says heated oxygen sensor, which is what we have, only ours is not heated because it's an earlier version. So it's got one purple wire. That's what we want to know. That's going to go to our sensor. I was curious about the other wire that runs with it that is pink. I think it's pink. If that were true, I follow it down here. It goes over here. It says number 17. We go to the next page. That's not right. Yeah. Follow it all the way down. It goes, it's still pink. It's number 20. I go to the next page, find number 20. Down here, follow it across. 29 it changes to. And then over here, pick up 29, dark green and white, runs all the way, 12 volt ignition. So the later oxygen sensors needed 12 volts to preheat the sensor. This truck doesn't need that. It only has a one wire sensor. So that's probably why that wiring is there. It's something that they were considering doing or did later. So I'm not going to worry about that unless it causes a problem. The next question is, what does that 4-wire plug go to that I can't find a home for? Yep, I'm a dummy. But I figured it out. So that's good. I'm not real sure how I figured that out. I guess that's dark blue, not light blue. VSS is vehicle speed sensor, which they just started using to tell the computer the speed of the car that could work with the primitive fuel injection. I don't really know how all of it works, but I know it was kind of new back then. But there is a plug down there. I can feel it with my fingers. This is the right length. This little dealio, there's a spot for it on the side of the transmission with a little bolt that I noticed while I was down there looking at O2 stuff, or what I thought was O2 stuff that wasn't. So now we just got to fish it back down through there, connect that to the transmission. That's one more mystery solved and problem solved. This is why you masking tape everything, even though you're sure, oh, I'll remember. No, you won't. You won't remember. And then you'll fight with it for, I don't know, an hour, farting around with something that should have taken 5 minutes if it had masking tape on it with a label. Idiot!
You idiot!
And also, don't doubt the book. You're not smarter than the book. Why would you be smarter than the book? Alright, let's see if I can do this without climbing in the engine bay again. Whoop! Just whoop! Just whoop! Just whoop! Just go to your home! Honestly. Probably hope I didn't shine the light in my own eyes. Probably just looped it around too much. We'll get under there and see. Where'd you go? There you are. Yay! That was it. So that's plugged in. The way the clip goes, there's a little tab on the side, so you, unless you really try hard, you can't put it in wrong. Yeti. Every time I get on my creeper and roll under there, this dummy paws at my leg like, hey, you gonna pet me? Like I'm not already doing something. I found a home for that wire. We found the O2, we found the temperature starter's hooked up. We are getting closer. Every time we hook something up, we are getting closer. Yes! Yes! So what do we need to start it? Let's make a different list. What do we need to start this hog? We do need the fuel line, pipe nipple, heater hose, transcooler lines. Okay. Almost died because that guy was under my feet. Let's get our transcooler lines. Also gonna need oil and filter, trans fluid, and we're just gonna put water in it at first because we don't know what leaks we're gonna have. We are going to figure out how to measure. We got one busted off and one not busted off, which is what I remember the case being on this truck. So, das ist gut, but I'm gonna need the ends to figure out, like I've said before, I don't know the difference between all these different kinds of fittings. But I'm going to take these in with me and make sure I get the right kind of fitting ends. And I know you can buy hand bendable line. And I know Napa carries it. I'm pretty sure I bought it somewhere else last time. If you don't have a Napa, it's a little more expensive, but it's a lot easier to deal with. So, because these are old and junk, I'm going to straighten them out as much as I can because I don't care if I kink them. And then I'm going to measure them, and I'll add a little bit to that, and we'll go get new lines. We'll hope I can get the old fittings out of the truck. So I probably could have reused that one. Idiot. Because both ends of the line are on it. I think we'll probably just get new. If you knew what you were doing more than me, there might be enough line there to re-flare the end of that and fix it, and it would be good to go. Sometimes the limitations of not really knowing what you're doing cost you money. The other thing is, every time you bend metal, you weaken it. So we don't want to create a spot where that's going to leak when it gets under pressure. We'll just put them at the edge of the table, make them easier to measure. So the longer one is going to be, we'll say 69. 69. And 63. 69 and 63 is what they are. So we'll get the next size bigger than that. Longer, rather, not bigger diameter. 69 and 63. Yeah, put that next to the fluid dummy. We'll just get quarts of fluid, not inches. Well, I went to the parts store yesterday to pick up the last things I need to get this thing started. Not necessarily to drive it, but just to start it. And of course, came up short. My fuel line, of course, they didn't have. It's got a weird fitting. I did get oil filter. I got oil. Got the compression fitting for the oil pressure gauge sender. Transmission cooler lines, the soft bendable line stuff you can bend by hand. You can get that from O'Reilly's, but they didn't have the length I needed in stock, so they ordered 2 of them. One's going to be in today, one's going to be like 3 days out. So I'm going to have to find some other stuff to do. Wyatt's got a parts truck out here that he pulled some stuff off that we'll discuss in another video. So I'm going to go look at that and see if I can get the fuel line I need off it. Also need to still find a heater hose fitting for the water pump. Confirm that it's 5/8 or half. So I've got some other stuff we can work on until my other parts come in. We're going to start by seeing if we can find the fuel line I need off that other truck. Let's go do that. This will be in a future video. We'll be discussing some things that we tore off that for his truck. Those fuel lines are down under there. Now just to get in there to see if there's even enough there for me to use. This could be fun. You probably can't see nothing. No matter how long they sit, it seems like there's still going to be gas in them. Alright. That's way longer than what we need. But we'll take it back to the truck and see what we can make work. Wow, made it without bonking my head. Good deal.
Yeah, woo!
I needed 18 inches of fuel hose. I think I got 3 feet here. What are you all excited about? Huh? What's so exciting, Hope? You think I left you? Or is this the one I need instead of the other one? Let's just tuck this down through there. And just see if it's... Oh, heck yeah. That one will reach. We might have to do some line straightening, but that one I think will get her done. This is where the old one come up. Little short. If we can bend these lines around without breaking them or kinking them, this will do her. Alright, let's get some bending going up there. Up yonder. Yonder way. Get this one pulled back out of there. I think maybe we'll get the bottom set up. We'll get the bottom bent to where it will meet the other one first, and then we'll come up here and work on the top. So we just need this guy to come in about like so, and really it just needs to go pretty straight. We just need to straighten out that first bend. Maybe the second. Let's put this in my broken vise because I don't have my nice new good one put on the bench yet. And I'm not trying to make it perfectly straight. I just need it to be straighter than it was. I also don't want to put stress on that fitting because I'm pretty sure that'll make it leak. take this down under there, see what it looks like. May end up getting up and getting back down and getting under and getting back out a dozen times, but it's better to have a dozen test fits than completely destroy this, since I don't really know where to get one that's just a stock replacement. In fact, we might want it even a little more up. I don't think we need a lot. Grabbing this line off this old truck might not be saving us a ton of money, but it's saving us some hassle, because I honestly am not real sure where we would go to get it, because it's kind of a funky fitting. This guy right here that GM used on all their TBI stuff, so at least it's good that we can pull it off that. Alright, let's test fit the bottom again, and then we will start test fitting the top. The hardest part of this is honestly remembering where the bends need to be. So this was on there. I think we need a little. We'll go a little bit at a time, see what we get. Yeah, I kind of like that better. And we can rotate it some, but yeah, that's mo better. Alright, now we just got to make the top make the right route. This is the fun part, because it's way in the back. We got to get the other one off there that I thought I was going to use to put this together. So that's too short, a little too short. Thread it through there. To give you an idea of the difference in length, I think we guessed about a foot, or we measured about a foot, and I said let's get 18 inches longer just to be safe, but this will reach both ends. So that's how we're going to go. I think we're going to have to get this bottom pretty close. Might even want to hook it up, and then hope I can bend it up here enough to get it where I want it. Because you can only turn that so far in the middle before it's going to want to bind up. Let's see how close that gets me underneath. You wait here, I'll be right back. I got it screwed in there finger tight on the bottom, so that it doesn't move around too much on me. Now I got to get this top figured out. We got to be careful and make sure we're not setting this solid line up to rub against metal anywhere. We got to make sure that it goes into that fitting nice and square so it doesn't goof up the threads. It'd be easier to just put stuff together the way it was intended to be and not monkey with it, but you know, what fun would that be? Jar valves in the way. The other thing we can do is if I can get both ends where I want them, then I can manipulate the middle to sit as it needs to keep from hurting itself. Oh, I got it into the throttle body, but I don't have it square enough to thread in. Alright, now we just got to make sure that that metal line's not going to cut and rip and rub itself in half. Okay, so we've got just about all the wiring hooked up. All the plugs have found homes, with one or two exceptions, which are things that I don't think we need. And we've got our fuel lines run underneath. I think we've got lines from 3 different trucks. But we've got supply and return lines run along the frame rail as they're supposed to be, all the way up to the engine using factory parts, and very little money invested in that. And like I said, all the wiring's hooked up, fuel lines run all the way up and attached like they're supposed to back here at the back of the throttle body. You know what? I think it's about time we try and test fire this thing. Let's just hit the key and see what happens. Are you ready? Oh, let me do this. Yeah, that should do it. Here we go. Yeah! Just kidding. It's Maverick's truck. That one's still not ready to run. Everything takes 2 or 3 times as long as you think it's gonna, so we're gonna keep cranking away at it, and hopefully in the next video we'll actually be starting Tucker's truck. You can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and click like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think of what we're doing, if we're getting better, if we're getting worse, what you want to see more of. Thanks again. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it.